My main goal for this video is to try to get through it with less than 50 ahs or ums. So let's get started and see how I do. One of the advantages to the AR platform for a sporting rifle, what I use as plinking toys, is its versatility. And so I wanted to take advantage of that versatility and use the platform in multiple calibers. And probably the cheapest way to do that would be to go with the MGI Hydra. The MGI Hydra system has a quick change barrel. Basically all you do is you pull this locking collar out. You would have to pull the bolt back and lock it back, but this is not connected to a lower. You put the pins out and then you can easily insert the barrel. And this is a 556 Noveske barrel. It's the 7.5 inch with the cookie cutter muzzle brake on there. And all you have to do is line it up and drop it into place. And then you put the tabs back up, pull that down, lock it into place, and it's good to go. I've had really good luck. I've never had any trouble with any of my MGI Hydra setups. So if you want to do multiple calibers with your AR, I think this is probably the easiest and the cheapest way you can do it. This MGI Hydra has a 300 blackout with a barrel shroud on it. And again, the process is very easy to swap out barrels, and it's even easier for 22 long rifle or 9mm because you do not have a gas tube. But the MGI Hydra system allows you to use a gas tube and have quick change barrels, unlike the Dolos kit. Now, originally I went with the MGI Hydra lowers, and they have interchangeable magazine wells. As you can see right here, this one would work for 5.56, and then here is the magazine well for the 9mm, which is they just snap right on. It had really good luck with this as well, no problems. However, the lowers can be expensive, and so what I opted for was just using a standard AR-15 lower, and then I would use this right here, which is a magwell adapter. Let me get an empty mag here real quick. This is a magwell adapter for 9mm, and all you have to do is push it up into the lower and it snaps in place. Once you do that, use a hex key to tighten it so there's no modification, and the magazines fit in for Colt magazines. And this system I think is better than the MGI as far as the lowers are concerned. It really works well, never had any problems with this system. And I got that. Let me see if I can do this again. Am I getting that right? So I got it from Precision Firearms. Been extremely happy with it. Thanks to this, I was able to utilize different lowers, because the main thing I wanted to do with most of my builds is I wanted to have the versatility. I wanted it to be very modular. I didn't want to have one lower that was dedicated for only one purpose. I wanted to be able to use all my lowers for any of the uppers that I have, and vice versa. So that's what I started doing, and this allowed me to do that with the lowers by adding 9mm. So still a fan of the MGI system. It works incredibly well, and I do think that is the cheapest way. Not necessarily the lower, but if you get an MGI upper, that is probably the easiest way to have 4 different calibers. And yes, there are others, but I don't have those. But 4 different calibers for your AR system. That way you would just have the, even buying an expensive barrel like the Noveske, the only thing you have to do is spend the $360 for the barrel and then whatever you spend for a muzzle device, and everything else is done. So you can end up building your uppers very cheaply because you're only buying a muzzle, brake, and the barrel itself. And of course the Noveskes come with the gas tube and the gas block. But I started with a 300 blackout that I built. And let me start to move some stuff out of the way here. I started with the 300 blackout build and was very happy with this setup. I was very happy with the feel, the balance, the ergonomics of this setup. It really worked incredibly well. I have the AFG1 up front. I have the Midwest Industries barricade stop. I have the Low Pro Phase 5 handguard here. And as much as I love the look of this, and I think the build quality is incredible with this Phase 5 handguard, I'll be honest, I'm really not a fan of it for one reason, and that is the timing. The barrel nut has a bunch of holes, and so you have to get it, and so once you torque the barrel nut, for me, I've never had the holes line up correctly, and it becomes an issue trying to get it too tight or too loose or whatever the issue to be able to line up the holes. There's a number of handguards on the market where you just torque the barrel nut to spec, and then you can put the handguard on and it doesn't matter what the position is, and I think those are a far superior design. But since I started with this and I like the ergonomics, I wanted to replicate it in all 4 calibers with the exact same setup. And the exact same setup would be the bootleg upper. Big fan of the bootleg upper. And then I have the pinless dust covers. You can see right here. Cryptic coating, bolt carrier group, Phase 5 handguard, and then the Fat Man muzzle brake. And so this one in 300 blackout, like I said, and of course this one has the folding stock as well. And that was another challenge, to be able to utilize a folding stock with my 9mm, but I was also able to do that. So this would be the 300 blackout. So let me pull out figure out which one's 556. This one's 556. So this one in 556, and you can see again AFG1, the barricade stop, the Fat Man, Phase 5 handguard, bootleg, and then Raptor charging handle, another cryptic coating bolt. That one's in the rose gold, looks really nice. So the ergonomics for this is just, for me, it gives a very lightweight, well-balanced AR pistol, incredible ergonomics, and the feel is really, really nice. And so this one was done in 556. This one, both of these actually have the Franklin Armory trigger, and the next one that I built was in 9mm. And again, this has that 9mm adapter. And most of my builds have the Spikes tactical lowers. This one happens to be a black rain. All the other items on this are exactly the same as far as the handguard, barricade stop, muzzle brake. And this has the Maxim 9mm bolt carrier group. And that's important because this has a weight in the back which is easy to pop out, which allows use of the Law Tactical folding stock so that it would be compatible. Now, when I do that, I obviously have to compensate for the weight that's lost. And these are two really good kits. This from Odin Works. This is the 9mm kit. And you can see the extra weights in there. But what's really nice about this kit is the bolt, or the buffer, sorry, the buffer has a large hex key that is required to pull that out to put the weights in. That way you don't have to worry about popping the pin in and out and wearing it out. You just remove that and put whatever weights. You can have the steel, aluminum, or tungsten, so you can adjust the weight of your bolt carrier group, which is really nice. And I liked it so much, I ended up buying the same kit for the 556. And this one works the same way, has the different weights that you can use. And also for 9mm, you might want to swap out the spring. It all depends. I've been super happy with the Super 42 buffer spring, and it comes with an H1 buffer as well. I've had really good luck with the compatibility. Everything from 556 with military pressure all the way down to 220 grain, 300 blackout, subsonic out of a very short barrel. I think the barrel is 7.5 inches for that, and didn't have any problems whatsoever using this setup. So as far as the spring and buffer, this is what I would recommend. If you're going to be doing 9mm, then I would recommend the Odin Works here that has the adjustable weights so you can do the different weights. The last one that I built was in 22 long rifle, and this one uses the spike slower and has the another item that I always use is the bolt release. I think this adds really good ergonomics, and as you can see, all the hardware is the same. Now with this one, I went with the little boy instead of the fat man, just because it's 22 long rifle, and I wanted it to be a little shorter, but it still maintains that same look. And so I was very, very happy with this as far as being a very nice 22 long rifle AR pistol. It just, again, the weight and balance and ergonomics of this setup is incredible. It's just, I could not be happier with it. And so that's what I ended up doing, to be able to have 4 different calibers with my AR platform. And again, everything is very modular. I can use any of the uppers with any of the lowers. The only thing that might be needed is if I do 9mm, I need to put this adapter in. And of course for 9mm, you should change out the buffer itself and probably the buffer spring. But other than that, just very quick modular setup that works incredibly well. moving some stuff around. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know. And again, real quick, the majority of these ARs that I'm building is for basically range toys. I do semi-rapid fire, mostly kind of a simulated double tap, which the Franklin Armory trigger, which this also has, works incredibly well for. It's typically targets less than, well, in between 50-70 meters is typically what I use these for. Of course, I have other firearms where can do this at 100 yards fairly consistently. But it's all what you're looking, what the purpose is for your AR sporting rifle or varmint rifle. But I don't hunt, so it's more sporting rifle. Hopefully in the next couple of months, I'm also going to do a video comparing a $300 lower to a $1,300 lower. I picked this up at a show recently, which is a stripped Noveske lower. Incredible finish, just amazing workmanship on this. But this piece alone, stripped, is $300. So I just thought I'd go a little crazy and see how much I could actually spend on this lower, and then compare it to just a standard lower like the one I have here for my .22 long rifle, which, except for the grip right here, everything is fairly standard, and so the lower itself is only about $300, maybe a little more. But that's it, and as always, let me go ahead and end the video with my coffee, which helps me focus. And yes, I stole that joke from a friend of mine. You know who you are. So if you have any questions, let me know.